Hello there, everybody. Glad to see you this evening. My name is Amista, and we're going to be doing Reiki, and then after that, we're going to be looking at tarot readings. I want to go ahead and adjust the camera so you guys are looking a little bit more at me, and I'm looking a little bit more at the camera. All right, guys. So let's start with the Reiki. For the Reiki, what I'm doing is I'm setting the intention for whatever is for your highest and best good, whatever that might happen to be for each of you as individuals. If you have something more specific that you would like the Reiki to focus on, please feel free to go ahead and adjust that Reiki for yourself. I just ask that you do make sure that it does remain for yourself. Don't try to redirect the Reiki to somebody else. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? All right, so we're starting Reiki at what time? 8:54. That means we'll finish up at 59 after the hour. Welcome, welcome. We're doing Reiki for 5 more minutes here. This is a great time if you don't know what Reiki is. This is a great time to ask questions about Reiki, or if you know kind of what it is, but you have, some more specific questions. I am a qualified Reiki master, so I can teach you about Reiki. And the Reiki that I know is the Usui version of Reiki. So if you have any questions, this is a great time to put those questions into the chat box. Okay, 4 more minutes left on the Reiki. Welcome to those of you who are newcomers. If you have any questions about the Reiki, feel free to put that question in the chat. I'm happy to answer that for you while I'm sending the Reiki out. I'm feeling a lot of Reiki in the torso area, solar plexus, sacral chakra. This is telling me, I really feel like there's somebody that's having some type of digestive issues or something going on in that torso area that is drawing in some energy. At a spiritual level, this has to do with the idea of how you express yourself is coming into alignment with this Reiki. And then also how things feel to you, how things look to you, sound to you, smell to you, the aesthetics of things. What smells good, what doesn't, what looks good, what doesn't, that type of stuff. And then as far as the self-expression, that has to do with things like how you carry yourself, what kind of accent do you have, where do you like to work, what types of vehicles do you drive, do you have any creative outlets, and if so, what are they? All those things are expressions of your own self, and so all of those are being brought into balance too, especially if you have not been expressing yourself. Then this is going to bring you into a point where you are going to find ways to actually do that more consistently. 3 more minutes on the Reiki. Does anybody in here have questions about Reiki? If so, go ahead and throw them up in the chat. I'll be happy to answer that for you. 2 more minutes left on the Reiki. Feeling a lot of energy going into somebody's third eye out there. Third eye has to do with our intuition, how we interact with spirit world. Chakoya, welcome, welcome. Hello, my dear. What are you using your Reiki for today? We still have, 2 more minutes left? Yep. Overall health. We like it, we like it. Health is so important, isn't it? I'm sure you know that. One more minute on the Reiki. Right? When you can't explain it, it's really important to just get to the root of the issue. And luckily for us, Reiki does not have to be told what the root of the issue is. All right, so we've got 5 minutes in. Let's go ahead and wrap up the Reiki. And time to switch gears into questions or affirmations or messages from Spirit. Ba-ba-da-da. We got snow here again today. I am feeling cold. I'm not sure if I really feel cold or if it's just the idea that it snowed earlier. I think it's actually already melted. Still. Except at the tops of the trees. Tops of the trees are still frosty. Especially to the east. You would trade with me? What is your weather like? Storms and everything. Gotcha. Gotcha. Do you know that it can thunder whenever it snows? I never actually heard that happen until I moved out here. We get thunder snowstorms. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Do you have a question today? Or do you want a message from Spirit? If we don't have more people show up, I'm going to take off here pretty fast. Close to 90 degrees. Dear Lordy. In May. Early May. Wow, if that keeps up, by the time you get to July and August, that's going to be pretty hot. You'd rather thunder snow? Message from Spirit from Miss Sequoia. All right, let's see what we get. Using the Vice Versa Tarot deck today. Okay, Sequoia uses a bunch full. 4 of them. Well, we'll start with these guys. And pull the last one. Okay, Miss Sequoia. Message from Spirit. Here's what Spirit wants to talk to you about. So we've got that side of the 5 of Swords in reverse, which just tells me that at some point in the past you played the peacemaker. So you either helped keep the peace between 2 parties who were not getting along, or maintain the peace, I should say, or you're the person who said, you know what, it's not worth fighting about, and you just dropped something so that there could be peace. Okay, so one way or the other, you were the peacemaker. This happened in the past before today. And then we've got the 7 of Pentacles. This talks about the idea that being the peacemaker has actually paid off for you. Like that brought you some kind of payday. Maybe you're literally being paid to be the umpire or a referee at a sporting event. That could be with these 2 cards. But somehow, whether you're actually being paid to keep the peace or not, you are getting some kind of payback or payoff because of keeping the peace. All right, Crystal Harris, welcome, welcome. Okay, so best advice around this situation. That side of the 2 of Cups in reverse. Or, yeah, that's right. And then the Wheel of Fortune, this side in reverse. Is that right? Yep, that's right. And then, ba-da-da-da. This side of the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, so what is our advice? Okay. This is interesting because either you do not like the peacekeeping role anymore, where I think before it used to make you feel important. Now you're not liking that peacekeeping role, or whoever it is that you've made peace with, you're not liking them so much anymore. One or the other here. All right. And the next piece of advice or heads up is that, things don't go so smoothly. Like, yes, you've got the peace, but maintaining the peace is not very easy. And it's not very easy because one of these parties is grumpy. And their ideas of what makes them happy sort of changes all the time. And so they get grumpy for really irrational types of things. So basically your heads up is that, yes, you've achieved this peace and you're enjoying the payoff of the peace, but at the same time, there's a cost. There's a cost to this. Okay. So just something to be aware of. Be aware of. You're quite welcome. All right, so that was for Sequoia. Crystal, were you getting a piggyback on that? Let's see. Ba-da-da-da. Message from Spirit for Crystal is up next. Maybe. 3. Who's going to be number 3? You're quite welcome, Sequoia. Sheena Marie Alchemy. Hello, hello, welcome. Aw, thank you. I like the sunflowers. All right, Sheena Marie, do you have a question or do you want a message from Spirit? Topanga wants a message from Spirit. All right. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Have you been in the room before, Topanga? I don't remember seeing that name. But then I am like the girl from 51st Dates, so who knows if I would remember that or not. Okay, Sheena Marie. Gonna be number 4, message from Spirit. Oh, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Where are you from? Virginia. Well, welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. I'm actually broadcasting out of Colorado. If you like these type of videos, you definitely want to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can catch me live next time around too. I do other stuff as well. You'll get notified of other stuff as well. Okay, Crystal, you're up next. You are up next, Crystal. What are you talking about, Boy Meets World, Sheena? You lost me there. Crystal, are you in the room? Crystal Harris. Crystal Harris. Oh, okay. So why did you put the name of a show in my chat? Are you watching it right now? All right, good. We're putting down cards for you, my dear. Ah, okay. All right, now I understand. Now I understand. Sorry you have to explain stuff like this to me. I don't watch that much TV. What I watch is pretty much YouTube, because then I get to control what gets input right there. Rather than letting strangers control that. All right, so Crystal Harris. You're totally fine on the typing. We could care less here. That's all good. As long as we can understand you, we're cool. Crystal, 9 of Cups covered by. Woo. 7 of Wands in reverse. What's that song? What is that song? Florence and the Machine sing it. Dog days are over. Happiness hit her like a train on the track, or a bullet in the back, something. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. With the 7 of Wands in reverse covering the 9 of Cups, this basically tells me that happiness has hit you by surprise. Okay? So, anybody who comes in here can ask for one, honey bunny. 9 of Cups talks about fulfillment, happiness, satisfaction, some really great energies. Feeling like you're helpful to other people. And then the 7 of Wands talks about letting down the boundaries. So basically, 7 of Wands, letting down the boundaries. You've let down the boundaries to happiness. Before, you weren't allowing yourself happiness. Maybe you didn't think you were worthy. Now you've let down the boundaries to happiness. And I do feel like, at first I was kind of reading this as a 9 of Wands in reverse, but I'm going to go with that because I think that was coming to me psychically, because trust me, I know my cards after this long. So I think that you've sort of let down your boundaries and allowed happiness to come in. And I think it's actually taken you by surprise that it has. Okay, so that's the situation that Spirit wants to talk to you about, Ms. Crystal. All right, so let's look at best advice or a heads up around this situation. Yeah, so we have that side of a 10 of Swords in reverse. La da da da. Covered by a Fool, that side of the Fool in reverse. La da da da. 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. This is where we get into the advice. The other stuff is kind of a let's be aware. Okay, so finding this happiness had to do a little bit with the idea of you had a situation that was a long-term source of tension or debate that is over. Put that to bed. That's a done deal. Not messing around with that anymore. Okay? And that allowed you to actually focus more energy and more effort on something that was important to you that you hadn't been able to focus on as much before, because all this energy was going into this tension or the debate. Now all that energy that was funneled away from what you really wanted to be working on now can get funneled back into what is actually your priority, which started as a leap of faith. You didn't know where it was going to take you. So now you're getting back into that. So either that has to do with your work in general, or it's working out really well for you. But also the advice here is work it, work it, work it. Getting back into that old thing, really work it, work with it, grow it, make it bigger, make it happier, make it more profitable. Okay, hope that makes sense for you, Ms. Crystal. Happiness hit her like a bullet in the back. I don't know, it might be a train in the back. I need to re-listen to that song. I like that song. Topanga. Are you still in the room? After Topanga is Miss Sheena. Thank you guys for the thumbs ups. I do appreciate that, ladies. Topanga. Alrighty. Here we go. What message would you like to give to Miss Topanga today? Hey. Let's find out. Have you ever had a reading before at all, Topanga? Or are you a veteran with lots of them under your belt? Never. Never have I, she says. Well, the only thing that I'm sad about now is that I can't see your face. I love doing first readings, and the reason I love to do first readings is I love to see the jaw drop. Makes me feel like I'm doing my job right. All right, so what does Spirit want to talk to you about today? You've got that side of a Two of Wands in reverse. And you've also got that side of a Six of Swords in reverse. So here's what I'm going to tell you. With both of these coming up as that side, I think that this situation is something that has already happened in your past. Okay. And I think that you basically felt like you had no choice but to make some kind of lifestyle change to get away from drama and chaos and to come into something that's much more peaceful. Definitely a relaxer of stress, this lifestyle change you felt like you were forced to make. Okay? Like you have a choice. We never have to make a lifestyle change. You had the choice. You decided to do it. You didn't feel like you had a choice. You felt like your back was against the wall. So this is a situation that Spirit wants to talk to you about. Let's look at your best advice or your heads up around this. Three of Cups in reverse, that side. This side of the Two of Cups, right side up. And the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, so I'm feeling like with that side of the Three of Cups in reverse, what really popped into me psychically is that either you did have to, or it would be a good idea now to let go of people that you used to consider friends. At this point, they're more strongly a bad influence than they are a friend, actually looking out for your highest and best good. So this is saying either you have walked away from some friends who were not really considerate or respectful of you and what you were trying to accomplish, or Spirit is saying you should. If you didn't already, Spirit's saying you should. If you did already, this is Spirit patting you on the back for it. Now, with that Two of Cups coming up in the middle, that's telling me that you're making new friends. New friends that are more on the same page with you. They're more headed the same direction as you. And with that Wheel of Fortune coming up, this tells me that these new friends actually bring luck to your life. They bring good things to your life. They help you to move forward and make progress much more smoothly than what you could have before. Okay, does that make sense for you, Topanga? Hello there, Garan from G-Town. Hola, hola. Welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. I think every person in the room has hit a thumbs up so far today. That makes me very happy, by the way. So does that make sense for you, Topanga? Ba-ba-da-da. Awesome, awesome. You're quite welcome. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. So everybody here, just want to let you know, even exchange of energy is always nice if you can. Little gift is always appreciated. Never required, but always appreciated. Sheena Marie, Sheena Marie. You missed Reiki, but you're here in time to get help with an affirmation or get a message from Spirit or get a question answered. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Jean Teague. Yes, ma'am. If you want a message from Spirit, you can certainly ask for it. Just put the word Spirit in the chat and I'll put you on the list. Okay, so Sheena Marie, I'm still going to be here for about 35 more minutes. Well, dang, girl. I hope the devil doesn't come up now, because now if the devil comes up after you said that, I'm going to be like, oh my goodness. Well, the good news is the devil did not turn up on the table for you. Otherwise, Sheena, I might have asked you to leave. Probably not. Let's see. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. So Grian has a question. And Jean wants a message from Spirit. Jean, have you been in my room before? I'm not sure I recognize that last name. Yeah, well, you know. I mean, I've been to exorcisms and I have witnessed them, but I don't know that I could do that through the camera. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here, Jean. All right, so let's see here. This is Sheena's situation. Ba-da-da-da. So, Sheena, we have that side of the Ace of Cups. You need to sprinkle a holy water. We all need some sage sometimes, baby. And you've also got that side showing up of the Lovers. They're both right side up. Look at this. Okay, Sheena. Here's your situation. This is actually talking about a situation in the past with both of these coming up in that side. Okay, so it looks to me like in the past, I'm going to say, I'm not sure if you gave a partner a second chance or if you gave a partner a first chance, but you definitely gave somebody some kind of chance here in the past. All right. And so Spirit is wanting to talk to you about you giving this person a chance in the past. Well, you know, I don't think my deal with Sacred Spirit is a message doesn't come through unless it is for your highest and best good. So even if it's a hard one to hear, it's still going to be for your highest and best good. So I have a hard time calling any of those messages bad. I'm not sure if it's a first or an X, because neither one of these two cards is a Six of Cups. Neither one of these cards is a Judgment. Because you never asked for a first one. That's funny. Well, then maybe this is exactly who we're talking about. Kind of sounds like it. All right, let's look at the advice or the heads up. No. Is this? No. Now I'm all confused. Well, yeah, because I don't know if it's a second or a first chance. Here's the thing. I think you're giving this person this chance. Okay? I think you're giving this person this chance, or you did in the past, let's say. Okay? Now, ba-da-da-da. Because I don't have Lovers in reverse. I have Lovers right side up, even though it's the back side. So that tells me in the past you gave somebody a chance or a second chance. Maybe this person, if you actually did give them a chance. If you didn't, it's not this person. All right, so best advice or the heads up. We have that side of the Ten of Cups. Isn't that funny? Right below, but it's reversed. That side of this. Because if you look at this right side up, you can see that same statue in the background. Huh, but it's reversed. Okay, so anyway, that was wild that it came up right below that. Now, back of the Hermit card, also in reverse. And, wow, back of the Wands card in reverse. So basically, Spirit's giving you some insight about something that definitely happened in the past. Well, let's figure this out. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe Spirit could be talking to you about your cycle, too, of giving people second chances. We'll see. Sometimes Spirit talks to us about cycles that we go through. Because, when we repeat the same mistakes, that's that karmic lesson thing. Maybe Spirit's talking about a karmic lesson. So, 10 of Cups in reverse. This to me talks about the idea of you're always looking for happiness. You're always looking for satisfaction. You're always looking for fulfillment. Being a little frustrated in that. So I think we are talking about cycles here, actually, as I'm feeling into this card, because this feels like a continuous quest for you to find this. Okay. Now, with our Hermit card showing up in reverse, the back of him, 1,000,000%, 100,000%. Okay. All right, Alicia, I will be getting to you next then, my dear. Thank you. So with this Hermit card showing up, we're looking at the back of him and we're looking at him reverse. This tells me that you did take a time away from always looking for that satisfaction, that happiness. You took a time out and you said, you know what? I got to figure out my priorities here. What do I really want? I don't even know what I really want. I keep seeing what I don't want, but what do I really want? If I knew what I really wanted, I could screen out some of this riffraff. Okay, so then the last card that we have is this 5 of Wands showing up in reverse. Here's the situation with the 5 of Wands in reverse. Now you don't have anybody qualified coming to you. Here's the thing. All of this is in the past. Even the nobody qualified coming to you is in the past. So what this tells me is that because all of this is in the past, this is Spirit's way of saying in a sideways way, okay, get ready. Things are about to change. You're about to meet somebody who is qualified. I guess I've got to read your messages, huh? Dark night of the soul, yep. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? Right. So here's the thing, Sheena Marie, that shadow work and coming out of the dark night of the soul is like, it's like that crucible that makes us really good readers. I don't know any good readers that have not come out of the dark night of the soul. A lot of them, that dark night of the soul really inspired their psychic abilities to become big enough for them to come out and be able to offer their services professionally. So going through that crucible, man, it sucks, but it's crucial. It's crucial. It's crucial. Because if you don't know you, then when something comes up on the cards, you don't know if that's a message coming out of your mouth or if that's a message coming out of Spirit's use of your mouth. See what I mean? So there's good here. There's good in going through this. And there's good in that this is in the past. So you've got some real qualified candidates that are on the verge of knocking at your door, at least one. All right, there's a lot of YouTube readers, guys, that they haven't been through that crucible. They will read and they will tell you what's coming out of their mouth. You want to make sure you're finding a reader who is giving you what Spirit is using their mouth for. Those are the good ones. That It is magic, right? Buckle up, Buttercup. Okay, so let's see. Alicia paid on PayPal. Let me see. It should show up. Yes. Alicia Bell. That name sounds so familiar. Did I not read for you years and years and years and years ago after your husband passed away? It wasn't your husband? I may be thinking of somebody different. Last year. Okay, that must be why your name sounds familiar. I read for somebody with the last name of Bell like probably 7 or 8 years ago, back when I was doing medium readings after her husband passed. That's who I was thinking of. You guys, y'all, I'm just going to tell you right now, y'all got to watch me, because if you have ever seen 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler, first of all, if you haven't, you should. It's hilarious and heart-wrenching. But if you've ever seen that movie, I am the girl. I am that star, whatever her name is. I don't know if that was Halle Berry or who it was. Okay. So, Alicia, do you have a question for me today, or do you want a message from Spirit, or do you need help with an affirmation? What is it that you're looking for? The ego, the best funeral possible. Yeah, oh, you're quite welcome, honey. I understand. And if you meet a bunch of other readers, you'll find out a lot of us started reading because we lost a husband, a brother, a son, a dad, and it propelled us into reading. I mean, it is a serious dark night of the soul that gets you into reading. A spirit message. Okay. Okay, let's see. Alicia, thank you so much for purchasing your message. I appreciate that. Alicia Bell. What would you like to talk to Miss Alicia about today? No, you're actually next after Alicia, unless somebody else buys a reading. And then after you is Jean. La da da da, Alicia. Okay, so you've got a really interesting situation coming up here. You have the Seven of Wands covered by that side of the Fool card. Okay, so here's the situation that I'm looking at for you, Miss Alicia. With this Fool card showing up in the backside, this is basically telling me that in the past you began something that was really a leap of faith. You didn't know how it was going to turn out. You weren't sure where it was going to lead you. You just knew that you 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 needed to do this. Okay? Now, more recently, you have taken a look at that leap of faith and have questioned yourself about whether it's important to continue to move forward with it, or whether it's time to put it to bed and figure that it has served its purpose. Now, after considering that, you have decided it's time to keep moving forward with this situation. Okay? So you are moving forward with this leap of faith. It's not so much new anymore. You're in the groove. You know it can work. And you're just following your intuition about what the next steps are. Now, with the Seven of Wands being here, this is telling me that you are standing up for the idea of continuing this leap of faith, which implies to me that there's somebody around you who is saying, aren't you done with that yet? Are you still interested in that? Yeah. All right. So you're standing up for this idea that you're continuing on with this leap of faith because obviously you're still expecting more good things out of it. Otherwise, you would have put it to bed. You've already thought about it. Okay? Now, do I have a little attitude towards your crybaby? Yes, I do. Let's see. Let's look at your best advice from Spirit. Okay, so first bit of advice is that side of the Page of Swords. We have the Emperor, and we have that side of the Chariot. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need a fan. This is a hot message here. This is getting heated. Okay, so Page of Swords basically says, you've already said all you need to say about this because we're looking at the back side of the page. You don't feel the need to continue to talk about this. This is not up for discussion. It's not up for debate. All right. Now, with the Emperor showing up in the middle, it's time for you to start taking action, making decisions for yourself, not relying on other people to steer your decisions based on their whims. But it's time for you to make decisions for yourself based on what's important to you. Okay? And then with the Chariot showing up in reverse, do you know what I seriously heard from Spirit while I was looking at this card? Don't let the door hit you in the ass. That's for your person who's whining and crying. Hey, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. You don't have to be around. I'm doing this with or without your support, basically, is what this card says. That's your advice. That you have to have that attitude. Hey, you can support me or not support me. Doesn't matter to me, but I'm doing this. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to participate. You also don't have to receive any of the benefits of it either. Seems fair, right? Don't let the door hit you in the behind. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Ms. Alicia. I hope that makes sense for you. Oh, that's hilarious. You're quite welcome. All right, guys. Next up is Gran. Gran, are you still in the room again? Oh, Miss Gracie, are you here? Are you here? La da 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 da, la da 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 da. What song is that? That's an old nursery rhyme, but I can't place it. Oh, it's Frere Jacques. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Gracie from Gracie Town. What was your question? Let me scroll up. Where did it go? Gracie, Gracie. Okay, Gracie wants to know, is she being too hard on loved ones? Gracie, 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 Gracie. Wouldn't that be ironic, considering what your name is? Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, da-da. I'm going to say you could be more balanced. I don't even know what's going on here. But I will tell you your cards. We have a King of Cups showing up in reverse and that side. So we're seeing his back. We've also got the Devil showing up in reverse, the front side. We've also got the Six of Wands. We've also got Temperance. And we also have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that you are asking me about some loved one that has some type of addiction or obsession issue, or at least they used to. Okay? And with my King of Cups showing up in reverse, I think you've sort of withheld, really withheld your love. You've withheld any kind of emotions or any kind of feelings for them that would be positive. Here's the thing. Whatever addiction or temptation, obsession, whatever toxicity that it is that they've been dealing with that Devil coming up in reverse, they're finally getting a grip on it. Okay? That talks about really facing this thing, looking at it straight up and figuring out, okay, not going to let you get to me anymore. So they're really working on, trying to clean their life up, trying to be more healthy. Okay? And they're making really some good progress. Here's the thing. With this Six of Wands, I think the advice is to let them know that you appreciate the progress that they have made. Not saying they're perfect. And even with this Devil in reverse, doesn't necessarily mean this is permanent. It can. Doesn't have to be. Okay, I don't have a Three of Wands behind it or in front of it. So this may just be that they can do really great right now. But we don't have any guarantees. With addictions or obsessions, there's no guarantees. Okay, if you go to any kind of Al-Anon meeting, one of the things that they talk about is, I know that all of this can go backwards at any point. Even when somebody's with somebody who's been straight and sober 20 years, they still say that. I know that this can go backwards at any time. And you'll see that happen to some of your people if you're in these communities where somebody can be straight for a very long time and it just takes one slip and then they're back to as bad as they were before they ever stopped. So this is not an easy thing for anybody in the family. I personally, from what I have witnessed, I think people want to stop way before they actually do figure out how to actually make that happen. In most cases. All right. So the first thing is show some appreciation. So not a bad thing to show some appreciation and some encouragement. And the other thing, my Temperance card coming up, that's really what tips me off that what we're dealing with is something out of balance. So some type of addiction of some kind, toxic addiction, whether it's porn, alcohol, whatever, some kind of toxic addiction. And with this Temperance card, they're actually managing to be straight right now. All right. And then Six of Pentacles, for me, this talks about, they're trying to make things right with you in whatever way they can. It's interesting how the Six of Pentacles is depicted in this card, because this person isn't even looking us in the face. He's looking down. He's kind of ashamed of himself. This is a lot of times the demeanor that somebody takes after they've got cleaned up. Their self-esteem is really in the pits. They're trying to make some type of amends to us, but it's really hard for them to look us in the face. Okay? So I think that you should, if this person is trying to make amends, I think you should let them make amends. On the other hand, if they're not at that part yet, don't try to force it. They're dealing with a whole bunch already, so don't try to push it. Okay? I can tell you that my dad drank for a very long time. He quit. I think he started at 16 or younger. His mom died when he was like 8 years old. Okay? And so I think that that was a major contributing factor to his drinking. And so he started drinking really early, and he did not quit until 2 years before I turned 21. And he had quit several times up until then for 2 and 3 and 6 and 8 months at a time. But he kept falling off the wagon because it's just not easy. It's hard as hell. And so he quit the last time 2 weeks before I turned 21. So he's been straight and sober now for over 30 years. But it took him a long time of trying to quit to finally get there. A long time. So I know that whenever you're dealing with somebody like that, it can be really hard to be nice to them because, you know, they have been really crappy for a while. But it's important to recognize that an addiction messes with your mind. There's science within the last 20 years that is considered newer science that shows that an addiction will mess with your mind in 5 different ways. And if you look at the movie called Pleasure Unwoven or Pleasures Unwoven, it explains all that to you. But one of the things it does is it takes away your sense of right and wrong and morality. So that's why people do things like pawn other people's power tools so they can go get their next hit or their next drink or whatever. You know, it makes them lose their sense of right and wrong completely. All they're focused on is that next hit because their brain's been affected to the point that their brain actually thinks that they will not survive if they don't get the next hit. That becomes just as important to them as air and probably more important than food at times. So there's so much that happens to our bodies whenever we get into addiction that I think it's really important for those of us who are watching from the outside to be as supportive as we can. Because seriously, for somebody to straighten out, I think that's nothing less than a miracle after seeing all that research. So I think you inadvertently got me on my soapbox, I should say. And I didn't know all this stuff. When my dad was going through it, I did not know all that stuff. Not when I was a kid. That stuff wasn't out. And I was researching everything I could. All right, so that's Gran. Next up is Jean. Jean Teague, are you still in the room? Poor Jean has been waiting so patiently. Okay, here we go. Message from Spirit for Miss Jean. Here's what I always tell my people that are getting over an addiction, Gracie. Even if it's just temporary, I just say, hey, because a lot of times they feel bad if they fall back off the wagon. I just tell them, I'm like, hey, you got in good practice for the next time. The next time your run will be longer. It's important to encourage them because a lot of these people, yes, they absolutely can. And a lot of times if they feel like they can't quit and like nobody really gets it, everybody's expecting them to quit and they still can't, a lot of addicts end up committing suicide because they don't know a way out. And I think that's really sad too. Okay, Jean, message from Spirit. My dad's best friend drinking buddy from when I was a kid. I mean, to the point that they carpooled together back and forth to work and they drank together and all that. Each of them would end up getting DUIs, so they would have to take turns driving because one of them always had a DUI and didn't have their driver's license. Seriously. At one point, they had like 4 or 6 months where neither one of them had their driver's license. They had to get somebody else in their carpool who they didn't really like. So as soon as one of them got their driver's license back, they kicked that guy straight up out of the carpool. was bad. And this guy is somebody who, me and this guy's daughter, my dad's best friend's daughter, became best friends. I've known her since she was 6 years old. This guy committed suicide about 6 years ago, something like that. Couldn't quit. My dad had quit, but he never could talk him into quitting. And so he did. The addict definitely is not their personality. It is for real. All right, Jean, your cards are down, my dear. Ba-da-da-da. Situation that Spirit wants to talk to you about is indicated by the King of Swords, covered by the Eight of Cups. Ooh. Whoa, whoa. Which way is this coming in? Okay, so Jean, I'm going to say that this is somebody in your sphere of influence. And the reason you're getting a reading about somebody in your sphere of influence is because they apparently have quite an influence on your life. Okay, so let's talk about this King of Swords person. A King of Swords person is somebody who looks at things logically. They want things to make sense. If things don't make sense logically, it really doesn't matter how they feel in their heart. They're not going to go forward with it. They're going to wait for something that does make sense logically. Okay? So this is somebody who is very intellectual. They like to have a good conversation. They may even enjoy a spirited debate. They like, to them, that's iron sharpening iron. This is somebody who everything has to make sense. They make really good scientists. They make really good attorneys. They're people that, they make good accountants. Things that add up, things that make sense really work for them. Okay. There are also people who seek the truth. They always want the truth about something. They want the facts. There's somebody who would easily say, just the facts, ma'am, stick with the facts. Because that's the way they look at things. They don't want the emotions to muddy things up. Doesn't mean they don't have emotions. They're just not as in touch with them as somebody who has strong water or strong fire in their chart would be, or even strong earth. Now, with this Eight of Cups coming in with this person, this tells me that this person is walking away from something that has left them feeling tired or depleted, exhausted, I should say, or depleted, not just tired. Okay, and just because he shows up as a king here on my table doesn't mean it's a man. It could be a female, so you should be aware that this could be either gender. For me, how my cards work is this person is going to be, excuse me, somebody who, if they were interested in someone romantically, it would be a female. Okay, could be a man or woman, but they're interested in females. So this person is walking away from something that made them feel tired and depleted. All right, now let's look at best advice for you or heads up for you around this situation. All right, so Six of Pentacles showing up in reverse. 10 of Pentacles. And the Hierophant in reverse. Now, I would say the Six of Pentacles to me talks about paying something off or paying somebody back. All right. The 10 of Pentacles talks about happiness, happy family, security, happy life. Okay. And the Hierophant showing up in reverse talks about getting out of some type of contract or agreement. So here's the thing. And maybe this isn't advice for you as much as it's heads up about what this person is going through, perhaps. But with the Six of Pentacles, somebody is paying something off or paying something back. I'm hearing they're paying out the nose for happiness, for security, for themselves and their family as well, those people that they care about. And they're doing this by getting out of a long-term contract or commitment. So this could be very easily somebody paying a lawyer to get them out of a situation, or paying a mediator to get them out of a contract or commitment. This could be that somebody is paying a lawyer, making the final payments to a lawyer to get a divorce so that they can have a happy home life and feel more secure. This can be that if somebody's in a bad contract or a bad deal that is bleeding them dry, they may not have really any choice but to get out of this. Doesn't even have to be a marriage to have that happy home life and that security. So this could be somebody in your sphere of influence who's actually paying to go through a bankruptcy to increase their security. They may be in way over their head. Okay, but there's some kind of contract or commitment that somebody is paying to get out of so that they can have some stability and some happiness in their life. Okay, now, Ms. Jean, if you don't know who I'm talking about right now, I guarantee you that by this time tomorrow, you will. You will. Okay. And that puts me being here for an hour, guys. So it is time for me to take off. Thank you all for the thumbs ups. I appreciate that very much. Everybody, thank you also for any comments underneath this video, and of course for sharing this video as well. All of that just lets YouTube know that something worthwhile is happening in this room. And I'm looking forward to working with some of you personally here before long, before the next video. And the rest of you, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out. Okay, so this is not... All right, let's back up, Jean. This is a person who is in your sphere of influence. Notice, Lover's card did not come up. Probably not a partner. Okay? But this is somebody who, what goes on in their life is having some sort of impact on your life as well. Okay? So don't look just in the romantic. Don't put your blinders on like that. All right? Be open. You'll see who this person is. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night.